Snow coming off a 3-hit game, including a homer, and a midweek win over Sanford earlier this week. Changeup misses low for ball 1. Urban, the starter for the Buckeyes, 11 relief appearances as a Bearcat a year ago, playing at Cincinnati. As the count runs at 2-1. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Ohio State has been right there despite the 1-5 record. Of their 5 losses, 4 have come by 2 runs or less. And it was a heartbreaker for them against Alabama this past Sunday. Ohio State took a 10-0 lead in that game, but the Crimson Tide came back to win 12-10. On the ground to the right side, Petterini can't get there. A leadoff base hit for Snow starts the game for Auburn.
Well, it's at the versatility of their offense starts at the top of the order. He gets down to a 2-2 count, battles his way, gets looks like a fastball up, looking to try to go the other way with it with a 2-strike approach. Is able to get the ball through the infield for a base hit.
Leadoff man is off for Auburn. That'll bring up Cade Ballou for the Tigers. The sophomore out of Auburn, Alabama, playing for his hometown program. First pitch swinging to left field. That's down for a base hit. Back-to-back singles starts the game for the Tigers. 2 on and nobody out.
Well, the Tigers giving you an indication of what their offense is like. Aggressive. If you elevate, they're going to take advantage of you. There's 2 fastballs up in the zone. Both going the other way, showing a little bit of their versatility in the box.
Now one of the top hitting catchers in the country, Ike Irish, named preseason first team all SEC. Fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. Irish also named to the Golden Spikes Award watch list coming into the 2025 year. That's grounded foul.
I tell you what, you start combing through the Auburn lineup, it's physical. I mean, even maybe the guys who aren't 6'2", 6'4", a little bit smaller, they're just put together, just real athletic and physical looking hitters.
One and 2 to Irish. Last pitch from Urban, a breaking ball. One of the first we've seen from him today. And the 1-2. That ball drilled to the right side, plays second base for 1, turn back to first, is in time for a Buckeyes 4-6-3 double play.
Well, a pitcher's best friend, a double play, particularly any time of the game, but certainly early in the game. You got runners all over you already. First and second balls pulled to the right side, hit hard. But I tell you what, Petterini does a good job getting over, great feed, pivot and turn for a double play.
And for the Buckeyes, that is their second twin killing of the year. Snow now at third base, and the batter, Cooper McMurray. Swung on into the shift, smothered by Carpenter, and Urban covers first base in time for the out. The Tigers start the inning with a couple of base hits, but Urban wriggles off the hook. We go to the bottom of the first. Buckeyes coming to bat for the first time here in Arlington.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs, proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Impossible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Now we take a look at the Buckeyes batting order presented by Amegy Bank. Ohio State as a team so far this season hitting .257, 12th in the Big Ten. Trey Lipsy leads off for Ohio State, followed by Lee Ellis and Tyler Petterini, who helped turn that big double play in the top of this inning. Matthew Gravelin is the DH batting 4th in the order, followed by Mason Eckelman, the catcher, and Mark Stevens batting 6th. Then Nick Jamarusi, Will Carpenter, and Reggie Bussey, hitters 1 through 9 for Ohio State here this afternoon. The pitcher for the Tigers is Samuel Dutton, a senior from Southside Alabama and a first-year transfer from LSU. Just 1 earned run allowed so far through 10 innings pitched for the Tigers.
Well, you got to love the idea. I mean, the 4 walks in 10, strike thrower, you know, the 14 punch-outs in 10 is what you're really going to like, because that means nobody else has got to go play that defense you're about to talk about.
Carter, Ballou, Terrell in the outfield. Snow, Fabian left side of the infield. Rembert at second, McMurray at first. And the catcher, Ike Irish, just as good with his glove as he is with his bat behind the dish for Auburn. Lipsy to the box, and the first pitch from Dutton is a miss for ball 1. In Dutton's last start last Friday against Wright State, went 5 2/3 and struck out 7. 2 balls and no strikes. This is his 60th career appearance for Dutton, and that ranks among the top 10 among active SEC pitchers. And closing in at 100 innings pitched as Lipsy rips the ball to the right side for a base hit. Leadoff man is on for the Buckeyes here in the bottom of the first.
Well, he falls behind a 2-0 count. Lipsy sees a pitch that he likes and is able to pull it over to the right side for both teams now having their leadoff hitter on with base hits.
Lipsy, a veteran hitter for Ohio State, is on to start at the bottom of the first, brings up Lee Ellis. Sophomore out of White Plains, Maryland. Former SEC player in his own right. Last year was at South Carolina. It's a first pitch strike. He has been the Buckeyes' top run producer through 6 games. 3 of his 5 hits so far have been home runs.
Dutton doing a pretty decent job early in the count, getting the ball to home plate on time, trying to keep control of the run game for Ohio State. Typically for Coach Haire, he's an offensive-minded guy. He likes to run, creative offensively.
He had so many great offenses over the years at Campbell.
Yeah, he did. I mean, just impressive. The numbers are impressive. Slugging percentage was always impressive. Base stealing, base running. A lot of different creative ways in his mind to score runs.
Swing and a miss. On the elevated breaking ball, Ellis down on strikes. That's the first out of the inning.
Another look at this. Like a breaker out the way. That's a slider, Brant. You called it. Not a big break to it. 80, 81 mile an hour. But kept it away. It had just enough dive to it to get out of the way of his barrel.
That is the 15th strikeout of the year for Dutton. Now Tyler Petterini for the Buckeyes. Comes into Arlington on a 5-game hitting streak. Foul tip strike at the breaking ball. It's 0-1.
It's a good pitch. That's a slider in. Those left-handed hitters, Brent, that thing will just keep running into him. Looks like a fastball, middle into him, and it just keeps running in and presses in on their barrel, and they can't get extended or get to it.
Petterini, the batter, now in his 4th season at Ohio State. Over 150 career hits, more than 100 RBI. Count evens to the ball and a strike.
Well, you got to like the idea. Young man's been in the program for 4 years. I mean, nowadays that's becoming fewer and far between. It's just the way college sports are, not just baseball, but college sports in general.
Petterini goes around, says Clayton Ham at third base.
Went back to that inline slider that starts in and just keeps running in and down to these left-handed hitters. Tough to lay off of it.
Swung on in the air to right center. Ballou coming over towards the warning track. He's got it for the second out of the inning.
You get a chance now to look at Dutton and what he likes to do. Scouting report was on the left-handed pitchers. He likes to use his slider in on them. Fastballs away. It's a pretty good deal. It was I think that was 3 consecutive sliders to Petterini.
Batting now the Buckeyes DH, Matthew Gravelin. Look at Ohio State. Has played some really stiff competition so far this year. That'll continue this weekend. Games looming against Baylor and Oregon State. So of the Buckeyes' first 9 games of the year, 8 will have come against fellow Power 4 conference programs. The lone exception was a game against one of the top mid-majors in the country, Coastal Carolina.
I'll get you some of that to start the season off with, and then now you come here. I mean, look, that's stiff competition. It will pay off at some point, whether it's this weekend, moving forward. It'll pay off for Coach Haire and his Buckeye team through the competition and getting better. The type of pitching they're facing, the type of hitters their pitchers are having to throw to and pitch to. I mean, it'll all come full circle as the season moves on.
Oh, 2 to Gravelin. Name is a player to watch in the Big Ten coming into the year. On the ground towards third, bounces foul. It's kind of funny, the Big Ten doesn't release a preseason or conference team. They have what they call players to watch.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know the reason why. I would be curious to find out why that is. After being around baseball a long time, I thought that was something that sports information directors and coaches love to fill out, and then it always would become early season conversations with local media, national media, people like you and I that are doing games. We bring it up, now we'll put graphics up nonstop where, where they're ranked and then maybe where they're placed in their conference or picked in their conference.
And Gravelin fights off another one.
Might be a good idea, because then think about how many times you read about, well, they were picked 9th in their conference, and then now they're going to win the conference title or finish 2nd. And nah, college media people love to put out their ideas and let everybody know where they're going to finish or predict.
A tempting fastball at the top of the zone, but Gravelin lays off.
Now, Lipsy's close to trying to get out at first base, meaning trying to get out to steal. He's trying to use his jump lead to set up the timing.
Swing and a miss. Graveline down on strikes for the 14th time this year. 2 punch outs for Dutton in the inning, and we're through 1 in Arlington. Auburn, Ohio State scoreless as we head to the second here on Flo College.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field, heading into the second inning. We're now joined by Ohio State head coach Justin Haire for the M&T Bank coaches interview. Coach, I know it had to be tough for you to leave Campbell, 17 seasons there, 10 as the head coach, but how does it feel now to be in Columbus?
Yeah, it's great. Just feel very fortunate to be there and be part of a special group of people at Ohio State. And it was obviously very tough to leave Campbell, but excited about the opportunity that we have to build Ohio State baseball back into a winner.
Coach, when you make the change from one head coaching position to another, a lot of people just assume things are just easy. You just slide right in there, right? Tell us about that first fall when you first. I'm sorry, the summer when you get there in fall. What is that like for? Tell everybody what that's like for a head coach.
Yeah, well, in today's college baseball with the transfer portal and recruiting just never stops. And normally you feel pretty good about the club that you've got showing up in the fall, but in today's day and age, man, it's just fast and furious, and trying to get accustomed. And Ohio State's a large athletic department, and just trying to figure out how all the wheels turn and where you get approval to buy baseballs, right? Like just all of those things, man, that you kind of take for granted a little bit, being at Campbell for 17 years and kind of knowing literally everybody on campus, to showing up at Ohio State and just trying to figure out, all the small details and try to get your system and the system that we believe in kind of instilled and just try to get up off the ground and get rolling.
How receptive have the players been, and the returning players, how receptive were they to you and your staff?
They've been great. They've been great. I think a big piece of who we are as a program and as a staff is that we're going to truly care about our guys. We're going to love our guys. We're going to coach them really hard, but we're going to love them even harder. And we're going to try to tell them the truth as often and as frequently as possible in an effort to hopefully help them develop as human beings and as baseball players. And I think that that's a message that resonates with a lot of guys and can really help us connect with the guys that are in our program, whether or not we recruit them or not. Or there's guys in this program that have played for 3 different head coaches at Ohio State, and so you're dealing with a lot of history there that we're all Buckeyes, and they need to know that and know that they're loved and cared for, and we're here to help them.
In saying that, you're saying that some of these guys that played for 3 different head coaches, that speaks about Ohio State and the young man with the portal abilities out there today to want to stay and get his degree from Ohio State.
Yeah, again, I think Ohio State, it's a world-class institution, both academically and athletically, and there's a lot of people that grow up across the country that, that want to be Buckeyes and that want to be a part of something special. And so I think if we can put together the right product and get us back to the postseason where we want to be and continue to develop guys, I think we've got a chance to really do some special things, because there's a natural draw to Columbus and to our program.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the game.
Thank you, guys.
That again, Buckeyes head coach Justin Haire joining us. Here at the top of the second, leadoff man is Reese again. Derek Fabian drawing a leadoff walk. Bub Terrell batting it ahead of the count, 2-0. Fly ball out towards left. Jamarusti is able to make the no. Dropped it going into the wall. Going into the railing there. Couldn't quite squeeze it.
I tell you what, he was going full blast. I'm going to go catch this ball in a ballpark he hasn't been in, and the nuances of it. Thank goodness for that net right there as well. The padding, he stays with it. Oh, right as he gets it, you can see his hand sling the glove, and the ball come out as he was just slinging it, or as his body ran into it, slung his glove. It's a great effort.
And with that, the at-bat continues for Terrell, the freshman out of Alabaster, Alabama. Terrell recently named as the SEC Co-Freshman of the Week. Had a couple of homers, drove in 7 this past week for the Tigers. And takes a walk. So again for Auburn, the first 2 have reached in the inning, and nobody out for Chris Rember.
Well, it's a tough recipe, Brant, for such an offensive team. I mean, like Auburn, when you get the first 2 guys on, you did a good job of working out of it, wiggling out with the double play the inning before. But it's a tough way to live with such a good athletic offensive team. We'll see if Auburn takes advantage of it.
Another talented freshman in the lineup here for the Tigers and Remberts. Getting pushed into action after early season injury to Eric Guevara. Now starting in his 6th straight game for Auburn. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, we've seen him fake sacrifice bunt, pull it back like they're going to swing, and the old slug play, slug bunt. The coach is going to go over and Coach Gross is going to go over and visit with him about what for sure they're going to do here. Just a reminder to him.
Gabe Gross, at his 8th season at Auburn as the team's hitting coach, former star player for the Tigers back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
He sure was. He was a really good player.
And our plate umpire, David Ewell, says Rember went around.
The most disputed play in baseball, the check swing. Started more ejections, crowd hollering, you name it. It's just one of those plays in baseball that it's tough on everybody. Everybody thinks they're right on it.
This Auburn program has been so good in non-conference play since the beginning of last season. 27-5 in non-conference games. All-time under Butch Thompson, a winning percentage of .733 against non-SEC opponents. Down the line, that is a foul ball, and just foul. Not a lot of room there, Ty, down the line.
No, there's not. They'd gone slider away. 2 pitches in a row. They're going to try to sneak a fastball underneath him, get him in on the hands, maybe get a swing miss and/or a soft ground ball in the infield. As you can see, such limited space over there down the left and right field line. We got umpires gathering up. When they gather up, we all know what that means. When we see hands go to the ears, and there they go.
So we have our first review of the day.
Doesn't take very long. I can tell you what. And look, if I'm a coach and I've got the type of camera views that our crew can provide, and I think if something goes the way I want it to go, I'm going to ask for the review. I mean, think about how big this would be if this ball is fair, and then you got to go in and start placing people. If they did, they'd have to start placing people in bases, which becomes an interesting process that we'd have to unpack as well. But we're get a chance. I mean, I thought it looked foul from my first view, not from where I'm sitting. I can't see where it landed from where we are.
That's definitely foul ball.
Yeah, that ball's 6 inches foul. This probably shouldn't take them very long. And here they come.
And confirmed. So challenge unsuccessful there for Auburn head coach Butch Thompson. And Rimmer back into the box with the 2-2 count. That is a tough pitch to lay off of there for Rembert on 2 strikes.
That is a tough pitch to lay off of with 2 strikes. I mean, that was right on the edge, right just below the kneecaps.
Runners take off with a full count. It's a walk anyway, and the bases are loaded. Nobody out for the Tigers here in the second.
Well, you said it. He took the pitch before, right? The tough slider on the 2-2 pitch. What does he gain out of it? He gains a walk, and now you're looking at a bases loaded Auburn offense. And now, I mean, Erdman's had to throw several pitches throughout this inning. So Auburn's offense can get to you in a lot of different ways. This inning has been through the base on balls so far.
Another freshman here for Auburn, Chase Freilich. A 3rd straight freshman in the order for the Tigers. That batting average you see of 423 is the 14th highest in the country among Division I freshmen. Swings and misses, and the count runs to 0-2. Big series last weekend against Wright State, 6 for 12. Batting with the bases loaded for the first time this year. Erdman's 0-2. Misses the strike zone, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We're getting another look at this. This is a good pitch. It's down, it's below the knees, it's a ball. You see these catchers now, how they get underneath it on one knee and they can drag that ball up. That puts a lot of pressure on that umpire.
That ball pops up and to shallow right center. It's going to drop in for a base hit. And the Tigers are on the board. Fabian scores, and it's 1-0 Auburn.
Well, he didn't smash it, and sometimes in this unreal game of college baseball or any baseball game, you don't have to always catch it in the middle of the barrel to get a base hit. He catches it off the end. 2-strike approach to it, just trying to shorten up. See how he gets out front, lifts it out there just far enough to get in between the left fielder and the center field. I mean, right fielder and the center fielder in no man's land. Comes up with an RBI, and really, truly, Brent, they had to go station to station on that because it hung in the air just long enough that the base runners had to kind of hesitate to make sure the ball was going to get down.
And now visit from Ohio State pitching coach Tyler Robinson. Joined the staff this year with Justin Haire. Was at Liberty last year, but was Justin Haire's pitching coach at Campbell for 9 years prior to that. The 9-hole hitter coming up, Bristol Carter. After that, Urban seeing the top of the order a second time through. Tough spot here with the bases loaded and nobody out.
If you're Erdman right now, anything you can do to try to get a pop-up in the infield or a ground ball to your shortstop, second baseman, double play opportunity. Or you would take it to the third baseman. He can touch third base and go to the plate or go to the plate, whichever one. I mean, you're trying to cut the run off at home plate or come up with an out that's not allowing everybody to move up 90 feet and or score. And it is tough. It's tough on the pitcher with the bases loaded. Because you know you got to go to the strike zone.
Swing and a miss on the changeup, count 0-2. Carter, a first-year transfer from East Carolina. Part of a recruiting class which was one of the top-ranked recruiting classes in the country over the offseason. The 0-2. In the air to right field. Lipsy will make the catch near the line. Terrell's going to tag, and he will score. 2-0 Auburn on top.
You don't send everybody on this, but you do send a really good base runner with good speed, good athleticism. The whole time when he goes back to tag up, Brent, he's watching the right fielder, Lipsy, catch the ball, and he's running down the line to see the direction of the throw as he's running down the line. It's good base running speed as well.
Back at the top of the Auburn order to Eric Snow with his base hit back of the first inning, now on an 8-game hitting streak. Runner takes off for third base, and Rembert swipes third. That is the 17th stolen base of the year already for Auburn. Erases a forced play at third. And the 1-0 pitch misses inside for ball 2.
Yeah, Erdman got a great, he didn't do enough job holding one look. He was able to get the timing and get out of there. An uncontested, well, look at the jump he got. That's a great read.
And now Erdman falls behind 3-0. Snow, another talented transfer to the program from South Florida, where he was a freshman All-American a couple of years ago. On 4 pitches, he's on base for the second time. 4th walk of the inning given up by Erdman.
Yeah, we've already talked about it. It's a tough recipe to try to pitch under this kind of duress against a team that's so offensive, fast, steal bases, power, all those different things, and find yourself as a pitcher working behind. And then when the base is loaded, you constantly feel like you've got to make a great pitch, but you know you got to go to the strike zone because you can't afford to walk another one to walk a run in.
Strike 1 to Cade Ballou. Looks at another strike on the breaking ball. Good location there from Urban. Runs the count to 0-2. Rembert, Fralick, and Snow all on base. Urban's 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ballou goes down on 3 pitches. That's the first strikeout for Urban in the second out of the inning.
It's a great sequence of pitches. Heaters away, get him leaning out over the plate, then they come back with an indoor inline breaker. Well, that's tough on those hitters. The previous pitches were away to him. They run that slider underneath him, get him to swing over the top of it.
Here's Ike Irish batting for the second time. That's one of the big early season hits for the Tigers, that a walk-off single against Troy out of the Sun Belt last week. Big numbers for him a year ago at Auburn. Irish hit .319 back in 2024. 14 homers and drove in 59. 3 balls, no strikes. Irish has also been excellent with 2 outs this year, batting .357. Have to imagine he's taking all the way here.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And takes a strike.
Now as a hitter, you have a window you're looking in. You want this ball to fall in a certain window, and if it does, and you see it in your own time, which you should be sitting in a fastball rhythm right now, if it falls in there, and it didn't.
Another walk to bring in another run. Rembert scores, 3-0 Tigers on top. And the 12th run batted in on the year for Irish. That'll bring up the 9th hitter of the inning for the Tigers. Now the Buckeyes bullpen getting active. First pitch to McMurray, rocked to right field, and that is down for a base hit. Going to score multiple runs for the Tigers. In fact, it's going to score 3. Running third is Irish. He's to the plate, and it is 6-0 Auburn.
Well, he sees a pitch that he wants early in the count. He knows he's got to come to the strike zone. It's an elevated fastball, gets to the top of it, pulls side just past Lipsy in right field. All the base runners free off the bases with their leads, which means anything in the gap or gets to the fence, they're going to be able to score. Ball ricochet goes away from Lipsy. All 3 runners score. A 3 RBI swing for that young man.
Career RBIs number 117, 18, and 19 for McMurray. Now the Tigers have batted around. Fabian started the inning with a walk. And later score in Frelick's bloop single.
Obviously, Erdman's not out there trying to walk the guys. It's just a tough recipe with command. If you don't have your best command against a team like Auburn.
And Bussey going back, and he can't get there. That goes all the way to the wall. Brings in another run. Fabian with a double makes it 7-0 Auburn.
Pitch in the middle of the plate. Fabian, tell you what, he lands in it. It is right, a slider right in the middle of the plate. Allows that barrel to get moving forward, leverage it out. Just out of his reach. In center field, he jumps up just off the top of his glove. We're going to see a pitching change.
That'll be it for Urban. Cannot escape the 2nd inning. Walks, big issue, 5 in the frame. And then surrenders back-to-back 2-out doubles. And the Buckeyes will go to the bullpen and bring in Gavin Kuzneski. 7-0 Tigers on top of the pitching change for Ohio State. We're back after this on Flow College from Globe Life Field in Arlington. Beaver fans already here getting ready for the nightcap tonight between Baylor and Oregon State. Auburn fans here enjoying their team on top 7-0 in the second. A 7-run inning continues as the Buckeyes go to the bullpen. Drew Urban cannot escape the inning. Gavin Kozneski into the game now for Ohio State, making his second appearance of the season. And Ty, this inning has been a great approach to the plate for Auburn.
It has. And, you know, they've had some close pitches in certain counts that they didn't expand their zone as a hitter, and led to several walks. Some of it, you know, big miss walks as well, meaning the pitches were big misses. They've shown you a lot of different ways so far that they can score, and patience is one of them.
Bub Terrell walked and scored earlier in the inning. Urban surrendering 5 walks here in the second. On the outer half for a strike, 1-1 to Terrell. Runner takes off for third. That pitch hit towards left center field, down for a base hit. Fabian scores as Terrell comes through with 2 outs. 3 straight 2-out hits for the Tigers, and now it's 8-0.
Yeah, they're not missing anything right now in the middle part of the plate. This ball is striped right back through the middle, elevated. Runner on second was going on the pitch, had a great jump. Only one looked him, but it didn't matter. Terrell was able to put a good swing on that ball and drive him in.
That'll finish the line for Urban today for the Buckeyes. Inning and 2/3. 8 runs given up. And all 5 players who walked at the inning came home to score, including Rembert, batting for the second time here in the second. The Tigers really strong offensively coming into Arlington, 21st in the country in scoring. They're now over 80 runs for the year through just 9 games. Strike 3 called. Rembert goes down looking. And that'll do it for the Tigers in the second, but what an inning for Auburn. 8-run score for the Tigers, playing for their 8th straight win. In good position here in Arlington as we go to the bottom of the second from Globe Life Field.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field with the Auburn Tigers lead 8-0. They're 8-1 this year. Coming to Globe Life Field, having won 7 in a row. During that winning streak, they've outscored the opposition 73-27. Over the past 4 games, 13 hits or more for the Tigers. And this weekend playing away from Auburn for the first time this season. So far, Ty, so good on top 8-zip.
They are. I mean, again, athletic, physical, patient so far. They've shown exactly what they did at home to start the season. They carried that forward to today's game as well.
That streak of 13 or more hits in 4 straight games, a first for the program in 14 years. Mason Eckelman leads off the second here for Ohio State. He'll be followed by Mark Stevens and Nick Jamarusti as the Buckeyes look to respond after that big crooked number for the Tigers in the top of the inning. That ball hit in the air to right center. And come and go over the second baseman Rembert. Plenty of room to make the catch. One away here in the bottom of the second.
Well, it's 2 ways of looking going into this half inning. One, Ohio State, you would love to somehow score, Brent, like you would any inning, but to answer back with, you know, to their momentum and their scoring, you would like to be able to answer back with your own some way. And then obviously if you're Auburn, you throw strikes and let your defense go to work.
That ball scorched up the middle, goes off of Dutton. Able to locate the baseball, fires to first in time. And 2 quick outs near the bottom of inning number 2.
Pitchers PFP, you do it all the time. You hit ground balls at the pitchers, they got to be able to fill their spot. But what helped him, because he thought the ball got through him or past him, Brent, I could hear his dugout all the way up here hollering, feet, 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 feet. And he was able to look down and then start spinning around till he did find the baseball and was able to make an easy, comfortable throw to first base.
Nobody on, 2 down for Nick Jamarusti. The senior from Chicago. Ball's behind 0-1. Player that began his career at Pitt before going the JUCO route, now finds himself at Ohio State. This is his second year in Columbus. You've seen him square out a couple of times. He's got good speed. One of the faster players in the lineup for the Buckeyes.
Well, you'll take a drag bunt hit right here. You're chasing base runners any way you can. And you had an 8-run deficit.
There's the bunt put down. Dutton fields, fires to first. In time for out number 3. Dutton has sat down 6 in a row. We've played 2 innings from Globe Life Field. Auburn on top 8-0. We're back after this on Flow College from Arlington, Texas.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amagi business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
Taking a look at the history of this Auburn program. They've been to the College World Series 6 times. Last appearance came in 2022. 24 times they made it to regional, 6 SEC championships. 3 times they won the SEC tournaments. Mentioned the regionals, they've gone twice over the past 3 seasons. One of the better programs out of the SEC.
Better know it. A lot of tradition, a lot of pride. God, I could date it back in my mind, even to Hal Baird, who's a long-time successful head coach there from the 80s to, I think, maybe 2000, if I remember right. And of course, AD John Cohen, former baseball coach at Northwestern State, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Got a lot of baseball in the state. And I was digging through it. I saw the renovations they've had over the last 2 years with their stadium too. It's a big boy game.
Freilich on the 0-1 pitch. Skies one out towards left. Jamarusti runs out of room. all the success for the Tigers over the years. And since Butch Thompson took over as head coach, Auburn has had 42 players drafted, 20 of those in the top 10 rounds. There are currently 36 former Auburn Tigers in pro baseball, 10 of those in the major leagues.
Yeah, and the majority of those not drafted out of high school, mind you. And what does that mean? That just, well, number one, you're going out and recruiting young men that are great players, and Coach Thompson's one of the better recruiters in college baseball, by the way, and has been for a long time. But the other piece of that is that talks about your development and how you develop players.
Yeah, you mentioned recruiting. Highly touted class for the Tigers this year, third best in the country, the highest rated recruiting class in team history. The 1-2.
Wait a minute. Say that again. The best in school history?
The highest rated recruiting class this year in team history.
Now that's a lot. That's taken in a lot for a program that's has played for national titles and does play for national titles. That speaks volumes about this recruiting class, obviously.
Two and two to Fralick, who drove in the first of Auburn's 8 runs in the second. Skies one here out towards left center. Bussey drifting over will make the catch in front of Jamarusti. And what a way for Kozneski here in the third inning.
I think he got him out front. Brant with just a slider. Got that barrel out, got underneath the ball. Bussey able to go over easily and get underneath it, make a grab.
Now the 9-hole hitter Carter had a sac fly RBI in the second. Hit his first homer as a Tiger this past Sunday. And a win over Wright State. That ball drilled to the left side. Ellis playing deep at the shortstop hole, able to field and fire to Carpenter. 2 outs now in the third.
Ellis makes a nice play here. That ball was scorched right at him. One of the hardest ground balls in the field is the one hit right at you. He does a really good job. He drops his left foot back, fields it comfortably, resets his feet, throws across the diamond for the out. It's a comfortable play for him for a ball that was hit really hard.
Eric Snow has been on twice. And ahead early against Kozneski, 1 ball and no strikes. Talked about the recruiting class. Snow named as a top 75 transfer in the country by Baseball America. The former South Florida Bull. Player also known for his defense, a former AAC Defensive Player of the Year. Sneaks one through up the middle by Ellis. Third time Snow has reached. Good for a 2-out single here in the third inning.
Well, you're talking about him being from South Florida, and you know, how many guys have we seen already this season? But you know, the first day of this tournament, that from other schools that have so many at bats, you know, Division I at bats under their ability. I mean, you know, their card already, and nowadays as a coach, I mean, you're recruiting the high schools, select. Now you got to keep eyes on all the conferences, and you know, guys going to the portal. You've got to have the data to jump in there and hurry and figure out if that's a guy that you want.
One ball, 1 strike to Blue. who had one of the biggest emotional moments in college baseball to start the year, hit a solo homer on opening day. The same day he lost his mom, Stacy, to cancer.
I saw that. That's it.
Go down to second, is in time with the third and final out of the inning.
Hold on, I don't know if they were. No, they were. Never mind. I thought they were about to go review it.
They're not, and we go to the bottom of the third inning. Auburn on top, 8-0. Buckeyes coming to bat after this. The tag put down here by Lee Ellis. And we go to the bottom of the third with the Tigers on top over the Buckeyes here this Friday afternoon from North Texas.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
And welcome back to Arlington, 8-0 Auburn on top. Now time for a coach's interview presented by Amegy Bank. We're now joined by Tigers head coach Butch Thompson. Coach, you talked a lot of the broadcast about how offensive your team can be. What did you see from your lineup in that 8-run second inning?
I just thought we had good at-bats the first inning. I know we still feels like we hit a couple of balls hard, got 2 hits and nothing to show for it. We've had good at-bats for the last 4 or 5 games, but, you know, as I look up on the scoreboard, we got a long way to go in this one.
Coach, coming into this weekend, and we had a chance to visit on y'all's way here. You talked about you guys had played at home at the beginning of the season, and you guys have great offensive numbers. But going into this, prior to the people who haven't seen you yet, your assessment of your club so far going into this weekend.
Well, I think we have some returners that's really interested, and Ike Irish being one that's just sitting back there at catcher. We got some exciting freshmen, but you know where Ohio State and Oregon State and Baylor have the jump on us is they've already played on the road. So this is our first experience. So we're learning more about our club here each and every inning.
Coach, you mentioned this earlier. You had one of the highest recruiting classes in the history of Auburn baseball this past offseason. What was the biggest point of emphasis for you in recruiting this past year?
Well, we wound up getting some arms that guys that really have loved Auburn their whole life, and we got some freshmen. A couple of our starters are freshman pitchers, so there's some depth there. And then 3 players were drafted. You know, you just saw Bub Terrell get around the bases there. We have 2 or 3 of those, and also our DH, Freilich. Those guys went in the top 20 rounds and still came to school, and we hope that makes a difference for us.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Samuel Dutton strikes out Will Carpenter to start the inning. That is the 3rd strikeout of the game for the former LSU Tiger. Now to the plate, Reggie Bussey. First-year transfer to this Buckeye program from Oakland University. One pitch has popped up in foul territory, and from third, Snow makes a catch. 8 in a row sat down by Samuel Dutton.
Well, it's attack the strike zone. He talked about before the game, that's his MO. That's how he likes to approach it, which is what every pitcher loves to approach it. And so far, you know, people can say that that's what they want to do. That's our motto. That's our this. That's our that. But until you walk out there on that dirt and put your spikes on that rubber, you got to be able to prove it time and time again. And so far in this game, he's been able to.
The only batter to reach so far in the game, Lipsy, led off the bottom of the first with a single, batting for the second time. Falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, it's hard enough to hit 90 miles an hour, 92, four-seamers, two-seamers, curveballs, and then he comes back as a left-handed hitter and throws a backdoor slider that starts off the plate and runs back and clips the edge of the plate for a strike.
That hit him. And Lipsy's on for the second time. Or did it hit him?
I heard something. I heard 2 clicks. But that, I'm like you. I don't, on that replay, I didn't see it come off the elbow pad.
I heard it as well, but the replay didn't see it. As Lee Ellis comes up, and the first pitch dribbles foul, the ground ball hit towards third.
Well, if I can hear it, that says something, as I don't hear very well, but we're going to get another look. If he catches him right there, I'm saying right there, another look. I think he did. I think he glanced his elbow pad. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Didn't see Auburn argue for what that's worth.
I think they heard it too. I mean, again, and it was tight enough in there. If you hear a double click or a double hit, you're going to assume he got hit.
Oh, 2 to Lee Ellis. On the ground and through the left side for a base hit. Second hit of the day for Ohio State. Last 2 have reached with 2 outs. That will extend the inning now to Tyler Petterini.
Like a slider, just stayed in the middle. Ellis did a good job getting on time with it, staying back long enough to the hard ground ball just pass into the 5-hole, just past the shortstop third baseman.
One ball, no strikes to Petterini. Last time the Buckeyes played against Alabama this past Sunday. Petterini hit a 3-run homer against the Crimson Tide. Takes a strike here to even the count of 1-1. Ohio State's top run producer a year ago, 52 runs batted in. Also team high 9 homers for Petterini a year ago.
You know, Dutton, obviously his command's been pretty good so far. And he hit Lipsy with 2 strikes, but he hasn't had many big misses. And that one was the first time where he got out of rhythm, got out of sequence with his body, and had a big miss and pulled that breaker way over, you know, the left side of the box. But you judge sometimes, Grant, as a coach, a guy's command, not only about how many strikes he throws, but just how many edge pitches he throws to his command. And, you know, big miss pitches are wasted, you know, pitches with, you know, the hitter isn't going to do anything with them. And
a wave and a miss. 4th strikeout for Dutton. And the Buckeyes strand 2. 3 innings in the books. Auburn on top 8-0 here in Arlington.
protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on a new wave. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are.
Auburn on top, 8-0, all 8 runs scoring in the top of the second inning. Chase Fralick got the offense going with a blue base hit, driving home Derek Fabian. And then later in the inning, Cooper McMurray clearing the bases with a 3-run double coming with 2 outs. At the time, made it 7-0 Auburn. After that, Fabian batting again. A double of his own to center field over the head of Reggie Bussey. Brought home McMurray. And then Bub Terrell, a base hit of his own. 8-run score for the Tigers in the second inning. And that's where the score stands as we start the fourth. That down the line is a fair ball for Ballou. And Ballou winds up a second with a double of his own.
I'll tell you what, Auburn, second, third double of the day already. This ball smashed down the line. The slider just stayed right in the middle of the plate, pulls it down the line, backed up on him. And then it hits the fence, that little nuance down the right field fence, and kicked it out, back out towards right field. It was going to be a stand-up double.
Big crooked number inning for the Tigers, one of several they've had this year. As they're closing in on 90-run scores through the first 9 games, or 9+ games. A ball with no strikes to Ike Irish.
I hear Coach Thompson talk about that all the other teams had a step ahead because they'd played on the road and they hadn't yet, but and what he means by that, they haven't traveled, they hadn't stayed in a hotel, they hadn't got out of their home routine, right? Take them out of their home bed, take them out of their normal daily routine. And sometimes guys act different, react different when they get on the road. See a pick to second for the second time. But for a coach, you're interested in how your team's going to respond. Different backdrop. BP's different. Everything is just, all the way to wearing a gray uniform for the first time of the year. I mean, there's a lot that goes into coach's mind about going on the road.
The Tigers will take on 8th-ranked Oregon State tomorrow. Wrap things up in Arlington against Baylor on Sunday. Starting with tomorrow's game against the Beavers, Auburn will be taking on 7 of the top 15 teams in the country between Saturday and May 4th. That's a base hit up the middle for Irish. Ballou scores. 9-0 Auburn on top.
They just keep coming at you offensively. They just don't take many bad swings. Don't expand their zone. That ball's running down and away from him. You're talking about showing some flexibility in the box. Being able to keep that barrel in line long enough to go get a ball running down and away from you. It's a great piece of hitting.
And 2 RBI game for Ike Irish. Still nobody out here in the 4th inning. That'll bring up McMurray.
I think if Coach Thompson was concerned about the backdrop and the different kind of playing surface and big league ballpark and what it was going to do to his hitters, I don't think it's had any effect other than maybe accelerate them a little bit and get a little bit even more excited.
With so much depth in this lineup as well, 1 through 9, the Tigers are stacked. At least based on what we've seen today, Ty, don't really see any holes in this Tiger lineup.
No. I mean, you brought it up early in the broadcast in the game. 3 straight freshman hitters in the lineup. You don't see that very much.
Into the shift, and by the shift, Petterini can't get there. Irish turns from second, on his way to third. 3 straight hits to open the inning for Auburn. Runners in the corners and nobody out.
But, you know, they stacked their lineup from the second position, the 2, 3, 4 left, and then 4 out of 5 hitters in the middle of their lineup are left-handed hitters. And so you've got, as a right-handed pitcher, they force you to come up with a weapon to try to get left-handed hitters out. And not only just left-handed hitters, but really good left-handed hitters.
Derek Fabian's been on twice with a walk and a double. Responsible for 2 of the Auburn 9 runs here today. The Tigers don't anoint captains. They name their captains legacy leaders. And Fabian named as one of them entering the season.
I mean, I like that. I think it adds a little more meaning than just captain. I think it was easy for coaches, including myself, to just go, okay, we're going to name him a captain.
Up the middle, Petterini to the bag for 1, back to first, and the Buckeyes turn their second double play of the game, but a run scores. Irish to the plates, makes it 10-0 Auburn.
Well, Petterini makes a good play, right? This is not an easy play. Top spin ball, he's trying to decide, have to bury his head in behind that glove, because he knew it was going to be an in-between hop, and it was going to be hard for him to field it, get the hop, and touch the bag at the same time. That was a tough play and a great play. That ball had a lot of top spin coming off the bounce at home plate.
A pair of twin killings for the Buckeyes here this afternoon. Now Terrell batting with the bases empty. You heard Butch Thompson reference Terrell earlier when we had our chat with him about being drafted, was taken in the 19th round by the Blue Jays this past summer, but instead electing to play college baseball.
Why not? You had a chance to play in the SEC, find yourself hitting in a big league park as a 19-year-old or 18-year-old freshman and representing Auburn University and its tradition. And as importantly, you've got a staff that can develop you in a league that's going to challenge you.
3 balls, 1 strike. A lot of power for Terrell. He's homered 3 times over his last 4 games. It draws his second walk of the day.
You were talking about turning down money to go to professional baseball, and there's a lot of people that will reference college baseball in certain conferences as being equivalent of high A and double A baseball. I mean, arguably, when you start going through the SEC and what that looks like every weekend, and the pitching you're facing as a hitter and the hitters you're facing as a pitcher, the runner goes.
Terrell to second base, and he's there safely.
I mean, it's preparing you. Look, a lot of people have to, we're going to get another look. He had a great jump, by the way. It was a good job going to the bag straight ahead so he doesn't slide off the bag.
This pitch sky to the air to right. Lipsy going back at the warning track. Makes a catch just shy of the wall. Remember with a deep fly. Headed into top of the 4th inning. 2 more runs scored for the Tigers. Now on top 10 zip. We head to the bottom of the 4th here from Globe Life Field.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar, Shakira. Live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour. Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah. Winning a policy, thank God for $1, a prophecy. Lot of pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Go man, this is the dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it to Raw. Like I see it, descending my arm.
The Ohio State Buckeyes coming to Arlington with a record of 1-5. Began their year at Tempe, got swept by Arizona State. Played at the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic last weekend, notched a win over 13th ranked NC State. Won't play their first home game until this coming week, March 4th. As we get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning, 10-0 Auburn on top.
Got to get used to your crew. And, you know, nowadays, if you take over a new team in the summer, you have opportunities portal-wise to try to improve yourself or help yourself. But you still, you heard him say, just trying to get familiar where he was and where what the players that were like, personality. You know, what do they want as coaches and their expectations, and it takes time every once in a while. Not every time, but sometimes it just takes time for everybody to get used to each other, find out how they like to do things, and their personalities. I mean, look, there's so much to coaching, not just the physical side of getting your reps in and teaching them how to play the game, but, you know, trying to figure out how to coach them emotionally, too, and who they are, and trying to find the right buttons to push to be able to communicate with them.
The Buckeyes will face Baylor tomorrow, close out the weekend against Oregon State on Sunday. Saw the note about their home opener coming Tuesday in Columbus against St. John's. Gravelin, the leadoff batter in the 4th inning for Ohio State. One of 4 strikeout victims for Dutton today. And he strikes out for a second time. Chris Koski says he went around. 5th punch out for Dutton. That's the first out of the inning.
Now Dutton goes to a 3-2 slider off that 2-2 fastball in that he missed with. He got that barrel going. Just hard to hold that thing up. You get that barrel going often enough. You don't have to move it too far. Those those. The umpires are going to call that more times than they're not.
Mason Eckelman, the batter here for the Buckeyes, popped up in his first at-bat, batting for the second time this afternoon. Sophomore at Broadview Heights, Ohio. Ball's behind 0-2.
Well, we haven't seen this pitch yet. It's a 71-mile-an-hour breaker. That is a soft, slow breaker.
On the ground towards third. Snow fields it cleanly. And a clean throw to first base as well. 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Well, Snow was over in the shade in the 5-hole, 6-hole, over by the shortstop position. Shows you that he was probably, I know he was a high school shortstop. It shows his versatility because he was way over in the shortstop position when he fielded that ball.
Base is empty, 2 outs for Mark Stevens. Started his Buckeye career with 4 hits in his first 2 games of the season. Since then, 1 for his last 19 at the plate. Sutton has done a great job getting ahead of about every hitter today.
Yeah, it has been. He's been in control. He's been in control of the baseball. He's been in control of his emotions. Strike zone, both sides too, Brant, with a slider, fastball on both sides. And just for fun, he brought that slow breaker in, the last hitter. Yeah, and not a lot of effort. I mean, when I say that, I mean he's not snarling and grunting and, jumping up. I mean, it's an efficient wind-up. It's comfortable for him. He works within himself.
Swing and a miss. That's 6 punch-outs for Dutton as he sits down the Buckeyes in order of the 4th inning. Samuel Dutton dealing today for the Auburn Tigers. 4 scoreless innings, 6 strikeouts along the way. 10-0 Tigers as we head to the 5th inning here on Flow College.
I don't feel right unless the odds against me. Back against the wall with my strength. Yeah. I can't let it break. Everything I've been through, it made me better. I never hate it, you made me better. Been through everything, it just made me better. I can't waste the pain, it just made me better. Once you make me straight, it just made me better. Deep to left field. Goodbye, home run.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
All 3 weekends of college baseball here at Globe Life Field benefit Shriners Children's with a portion of ticket sales going to a worthy cause that is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. To donate, scan the QR code on your screen or visit globelifefield.com/college baseball. Well, how great was that tie a couple of weekends ago to kick off the season with the Shriners Children's College Showdown?
It was, I know, the competition was great. The crowds were great. It was exciting, opening weekend, all that goes in with the emotion and the fun and the excitement of college baseball getting kicked off. And then certainly the
new pitcher to the game.
Work with.
Yep, new pitcher to the game now for the Buckeyes. It is Tannis Lang, a freshman lefty, making a second appearance of the year for Ohio State after the Buckeyes got 2 2/3 innings of relief from Gavin Kozneski. The third pitcher now the Buckeyes have used today. Starter Drew Ehrman cannot escape the second inning, giving up 8 runs in that frame. Fraley leads off the 5th for the Tigers.
As a coach, you got a list of pitchers. You've got your starter, and then you've got a list of relievers after that, and the scenario and situation that they would go into. And what I mean by that, if it's, you know, leverage point in the game, you got a guy that you go to, a multi-purpose guy, right or left, pending the, you know, oftentimes the offensive side, and then closer, obviously, and setup, different things like that. But then you have another piece of it, too, that when a game can get extended like this, which Auburn has done 10-0, you go to another list of guys that you need to get, they need to get in there. They need to get their feet wet. Oftentimes it's a freshman, which is what we're seeing right here. We got to get him into the game. Of course, it's a tough lineup to go face, but with him being left-handed too, so many left-handed hitters in this lineup could benefit from it as well. But you start to choose different, you know, pitchers at that point. The other piece of it is you got 2 more games to play after this one as well.
And there for a strike at the edge of the strike zone of the changeup, fills the count at 3-2. Fralick, Carter, Snow batting for the Tigers in the 5th. And goes opposite of the shift down the line, and that is a fair ball. Rattles into the corner. Fralick on his way to second with his second hit of the day. And another double for Auburn.
We get another look at this. Fastball away, just goes with it, stays on it, doesn't try to pull it, doesn't try to do anything special with it, but do what you're supposed to as it gets just inside the fair line. Or, I mean, look, that's left on left, heater away. What do you do with it if you're a good hitter? And it's elevated enough, you strike it right down the line for a double.
4th double today for Auburn. Tigers as a team up to 21 doubles now in the year. They've been a good power hitting team to start the season, 15th in the country in slugging. They have a team OPS over 1,000. That's fouled away by Carter to run the count 0-2.
If Fralick gets into a situation here where he's not swinging a bat very well, they're going to take that last swing that he just had on that left matchup and a ball away from him and drive it right down. I mean, that's a great piece of hitting when you're able to drive a ball away from you in that count and just stay on it, not try to do anything special with it.
Further a conversation about the recruiting class for the Tigers. Carter, the batter here, was rated as the 14th best transfer in the country by Baseball America, coming over from one of the great mid-majors, East Carolina. Well, you talk about a program that's done special things out of the American. East Carolina has been it.
Yep. That's a great place to watch a baseball game, too. That's an electric crowd.
Seem to recall the atmosphere there a couple of years ago when Texas played a super regional there at East Carolina.
Yep, but it's been that way for a long time. But it's not new. East Carolina baseball, it's big for them.
Got by the shortstop, Ellis into left field. Fralick on his way to third. Runners in the corners here for the Tigers. It looked like Stevens and Ellis got caught up with each other.
Yeah, no, it ricochets off his glove. We're going to get a better look at it from our camera crew. Oh, it took a hop off the dirt and went back to him. He hit a spike mark, the ball did, and bounces right back to the left. He's got the range to go get it. Watch it come. See it come back over his right shoulder. So just hit a spike mark, and it's part of baseball there once in a while.
And now back to the top of the order. Eric Snow, 3 at-bats, has been on 3 times. And takes a first pitch strike from Lang. And Stevens has been charged with an error.
Well, I'd have to go back and look at that as an official score, and that's a tough job.
That gets away from Eckelman. Frelick scores to make it 11-0.
Looked like he buried a breaker or changeup, something secondary. Yeah, got out in front of the plate. Look how high that ball hopped. It really and truly, Eckelman didn't have a chance of blocking that, Brad. That ball bounced over his shoulder.
Carter also advanced to second base.
You know, to an official score, I could see what that would look like an error. Honestly, I mean, my initial reaction probably would have been, you know, possibly an error on the, but the way that thing bounced and came back, that would have made a remarkable play for him to have to reach back over his right shoulder to field that ball.
Swing and a miss. Snow retired for the first time today. That's the first out of the inning.
Gonna get a great look at Lang's best breaker. Look at the territory that breaker covered. That ball started out off the plate, away from the right-handed hitting Snow, and then runs all the way back to his back foot. And he swings over the top of it.
Runner takes off for third. Here's the throw and the tag in time for the out. You see Carter looking back at the dugout, says the Tigers should challenge that. It doesn't look like they are.
Well, we're going to get a look. We'll see if he thought he was. Okay. He's close to being right. I don't, you know, because he tagged him in between.
High fly out to right. Lipsy going to give way to Bussey. He'll make the catch at the warning track. And that will end the inning. Tigers at another run of their lead, on top 11-zip. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning from Globe Life Field here in Arlington.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour. Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Four innings so far in the books for Samuel Dudden. Ty's picked up 6 strikeouts along the way.
He is comfortable in his delivery, secondary, fastballs, emotions, calm, cool, collective, and competing.
4 scoreless innings, so 6 strikeouts, no walks, just a couple of hits given up by Dutton. Just got done retiring the side in order in the 4th inning as we navigate to the bottom of the 5th. All Tigers on top 11-0. Pinch hitter Sal Mineo is hitting for Jamarusti, a freshman from Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania.
You know what's interesting about what you just said? That is going back in my mind a long time. Every time anybody says Slippery Rock, ABC, when they used to do college football on Saturdays, not used to, still do, but they would always give the Slippery Rock score of the game. Like, because it was not unheard of, but it wasn't a big, you know, and they would always do, and I remember growing up and then being such a big college football fan, they would always put it out there for everybody to know how they did.
Full count to Mineo. Swing and a miss. Number 7 for Dutton. 5 in a row retired, 4 of those via the strikeout, and 1 out here in the 5th.
Putting on a clinic right now. Fastball away. Can't catch up to it. You got to swing at it. It's close enough to the edge of the plate. Got to protect it. Not able to get there.
Now Will Carpenter for the Buckeyes, who struck out back in the 3rd.
I'd like to know how he's holding this 70-mile-an-hour breaker. I'm curious. Everything's 92, 93. Slider's a hard pitch, and he's taking that and backing that off 20 mile an hour off of that thing right there. He just ran by him. That fastball away. That pitch before was 20 mile an hour difference almost. No, exactly 20 miles an hour difference.
Last fastball there, the top of the zone at 91 for Dutton. Last 3 outs have all been strikeouts. 8 in the game. And another pinch hitter up here for Ohio State. It is Zach Freeman, senior from Los Angeles. Tigers, of course, playing the ultra-competitive SEC. Their first SEC series is going to be a great one at home at Plainsman Park against Vanderbilt for a 3-game series. That ball hit in the air to right field. Terrell, plenty of room, and he's there for the 3rd and final out. 5 scoreless innings for Samuel Dutton today. We head to the 6th. Auburn on top of Ohio State, 11-0. We're back after this from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls and we cannot lie, the new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amagi business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Your college sports have a home on Flow College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flow College. Head to flowcollege.com today to see everything now. Auburn fans enjoying their visit to Arlington so far with the Tigers on top 11-0. The Bats a huge 8-run second inning, and on the mound, Sam Dutton. 5 scoreless innings. for the Tigers, piling up the strikeouts. There's a heart of the order of bats here for Auburn to the 6, Irish, McMurray, and Fabian. Day didn't start well for Irish. Hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the first. Since then, a couple of RBIs on a walk and a base hits. And ahead against Lang, 3-0. Three-one pitch in the air to left. And the catch is made by Mineo for the first out of the inning.
Nice pitch, fastball away. Wasn't able to get completely the middle of the barrel to it. Mineo goes over, makes a nice catch. Look, I used to tell my players all the time, look, as soon as you step on that field, you better get ready. It's coming to you. You're going to be the first one that ball's going to go find.
Talked earlier about that first SEC series for the Tigers against Vanderbilt at home at Plainsman Park. Other home series fans can get excited about. At Auburn, the Tigers will be hosting Alabama this year. LSU, who we saw here in a midweek game on Wednesday. Mississippi State and South Carolina. All coming to Auburn, Alabama this season. 2-0 pitch, shot to right field. And Lipsy will make the catch. Actually, that's Freeman out there right now. And he has the catch for out number 2.
I mean, you got to like what Lane's doing. I mean, it's a lot of fastballs. Good angle to it, meaning he starts it up above his ear and drives the fastball down. He's been able to get the ball away from the left-handed hitters. Occasional breaker. It's the longest outing for him so far in this young season. He's gaining some confidence.
One ball, one strike to Fabian.
And it's 80, 88, 90 mile an hour fastballs. Got decent life to it. The last 4 or 5 feet of it.
Now that slider got away from him. Fabian hit by a pitch. He's off for the 3rd time. A 2-out base runner for the Tigers will bring up Bub Terrell.
Yeah, breaker got him on the toe.
Good offensive numbers for the Tigers across the board today. 11 hits on the afternoon. 7 of those with runners on base. 5 of them with runners in scoring position. And 4 2-out hits today as well for Auburn. And every third of the order has produced, top, middle, and bottom.
Oh, that starts to talk about the balance of your lineup and start to describe it when you can score from so many different places in your lineup. I tell you, when Lane goes to the when he goes to the third base side of home plate, the away corner to the left-handed hitters, and he carries that ball a long ways, good angle, it's got tilt to it. You can see they're not picking it up great. That was a really defensive swing. That ball was in. I think Trell was thinking it was going to be going back out there again, something away.
Another foul ball.
And if we kind of see a breaker off those, that's 4 straight heaters. We'll see if he decides to go to that big sweeping breaker away.
Takes another slider off the plate, even the count at 2-2. Trell has been on 3 times for the Tigers today, as there's a throw back to first base. A couple of walks and drove in a run, back up at 8-run second for Auburn. And a good at-bat after falling behind 0-2.
They don't chase much. I think I've been as impressed with that, and he may swing it one out of the zone here, but that's the way the game is. But they don't chase much. They do a good job of understanding their strike zone.
He's walked for the 3rd time today. And looks to be just as excited for a walk as he is for a hit.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you. But I mean, to me, that's a language that they're telling me, as a guy that's been around baseball, that their coaching staff are coaching them on patience, knowing your strike zone, and a walk is the exact same thing, obviously, as a base hit. Plus, it takes more pitches out of the pitcher, and it's a weapon that they've used today.
Rembert smacks one to center field. That's in for a base hit. Here comes Fabian around 3rd. He scores to make it 12-0 Auburn.
So here's what can happen, and it just happened. Ball's in the middle of the plate, right? Well, part of that was the at-bat before. You get ahead 0-2, and then they don't chase, so you get a walk. So you know in your mindset as a pitcher, I got to go back to the strike zone. I got to go right back to the strike zone, and often you'll go right to the middle of the plate, and this Auburn team will take advantage of you if you do that.
Another 2-out run for the Tigers. Lang was able to get Irish and McMurray to fly out. Since then, a hit, batter, a walk, a couple of free passes, and then the base hit from Rembert. Fralick drills one down the right side, another base hit. In to score Terrell. On his way to 3rd goes Remberts. And the Tigers deliver again to take a 13-0 lead.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to have a play on this ball. Boy, that's a good-looking swing. He gets to the top of that baseball, just under the glove of Carpenter. Put a lot of barrel on the baseball, Brent. They have today. Before they got here, they have, and they've continued it today.
And really been impressed by that trio of freshmen we've seen back to back to back. Terrell, Rembert, and Fralick have been phenomenal today. Bristol Carter, fly ball out to right, and Freeman makes a catch to end the inning. The Tigers add to the lead. 2 more runs scored with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. They go to the bottom. 13-0 Auburn on top. Take a look at one of the pitch sequences here from Samuel Dutton in one of his last strikeouts.
It's that slow breaker, backdoor breaker. The hitters see it out there, comes back and clips the plate, and then he comes back. That's almost unfair. It's a 20-mile-an-hour difference, and he's able to execute that slower breaker. Earlier in the game, he had a harder breaker he was throwing, more of a slider. Gets him out front looking for it, and then he just gets after him with a fastball away.
Now facing the top of the order, third time through. 5 scoreless innings, 8 strikeouts for Dutton today. Lipsy, one of the few Buckeyes has had success. He's reached twice so far this afternoon.
Well, there was that harder breaker. That's an 84, 85-mile-an-hour slider. There it is again, which he used early. The first 6 hitters he faced, of those left-handed hitters that he faced, he would throw that harder slider on top of them, start it inside corner and run it into their hands. And then, like I said, halfway through the game, it's almost like he invented this slower break. He didn't invent it in the game, but.
Ground ball to the left side, gobbled up by Fabian. Over to McMurray in time for the outs. 1 out here in the 6th.
That's the advantage of having 3 shortstops in your infield. Snow moves over into they were in a pull side shift. 3 defenders on the right side. He goes to the shortstop position. Picks it up like he's the everyday shortstop out there.
Maddox Simpson batting now for the Buckeyes, pinch hitting for Lee Ellis. And with the game getting away, Justin Haire emptying his bench. Simpson skies one to rights. Terrell, 2 outs.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you got other guys. You want to see what they look like, and you got to get them at bats. You got to develop depth. You got to give a guy an opportunity, and then maybe a guy sitting in your dugout that steps up there, and all of a sudden he looks like he needs to be in the game or deserves to be in there. And all of a sudden you start to gain some confidence in him. So there's a lot of information, even though you're down, 13-0. There's some information and some positive you can get out of there as a coach too.
Another pinch hitter here for the Buckeyes, Anthony Schepler. Freshman from Novato, California, taking the place of Tyler Petterini. The strikeout numbers for the year for Dutton, really impressive now with his 8 punch-outs today. He's got 22 through 15 2/3 innings.
I'd love to go back and look. Man, it hasn't been very many 3-ball counts all day, and not very many. I know there's been some, but just not very many. I know he had a couple where he struck out a guy on a 3-2 slider, but he's just been in command. See, he threw the hard slider the pitch before. Then he comes back with that soft thing, gets him out front. And now does he automatically go to the fastball away? It's just what he did. They're going to stay in there.
And he goes around. Strikeout number 9, 10 in a row sat down by Dutton. 6 innings in the books. Dutton, 6 scores for the Tigers. Auburn on top, 13-0.
1,000 meters on the track, ready to roll. Collegiate National Lead.
Going to close there on her inside, but it looks like Shaki could take this front to back. 200-meter final.
Brad Fisher, the American record holder. This is superhuman.
But Holloway crossed to London. He's only 3 100s outside the world record.
We head to the top of the 7th inning. All Auburn on this Friday afternoon, turning into the evening from North Texas. Brent Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. Tigers an explosive 8-run second inning. And the pitching from Samuel Dutton has been incredible. 6 scoreless innings, just 2 hits given up, 9 strikeouts. This game, all Auburn Tigers. Eric Snow is hit by a pitch on base for the 4th time today.
I think this is their 8th or 9th free base. Got him on that elbow pad. You know, you would hear some guys who've been around the game a long time. Oh, they wear that elbow pad. I'd wear that thing. I'm going to tell you right now, you get hit with a 92, 93 mile an hour right in that muscle. That don't feel good.
Ballou with a fly ball out to center. And Lipsy make the catch for the first out of the inning. You mentioned free passes. The number is 9. 7 walks, 2 hit batters for the Tigers today.
That's a tough recipe for an already really offensive, physical team like Auburn. Just, and some of it was their patience. Some of it was, you know, not executing the pitches from Ohio State's behalf off the mound.
The new pitcher in the game, meanwhile, for the Buckeyes is Spencer Hill, a first-year transfer from UNC Asheville. And this is his first appearance in about 2 years. Missed all of last year due to injury. At UNC Asheville, last pitch as a junior of that program back in 2023. The 4th pitcher the Buckeyes have used today, the starter Drew Erdman, inning in 2/3, giving up 8 earned runs.
Well, this is a good moment for this young man. He's been out for 2 years with injuries, transfer, and hadn't been out competing much because of an injury. It's, you know, he's get his juices flowing out there on the mound, get him back to where he feels like, you know, he belongs out there. It's been a lot of work. People don't know, and you get injured, and it's a long, lonely road to get back. I mean, long, lonely road. He's earned the right to be back out there today. He probably could take a picture of his jersey, and I bet his heart just pounding a little bit of excitement and adrenaline, and probably some feel good too, right? That's a long time.
The full count to Irish. Drilled up the middle. Nice backhand by Shepler to second base for the force play. That is a great play on defense there by the Buckeyes. Actually, it was Maddox Simpson there for Ohio State. That's good for the second out.
Yeah, it's an excellent play. Again, all 3 of the new guys that have come in the game, or it's been 4, all have had a ball hit at them. 2 outfielders and now a second baseman. Makes a nice backhand play. First time into the ball game.
It was Shepler with Simpson covering second base. So a great play there by Shepler. 2 outs. Brings up Cooper McMurray. Has the biggest hit of the day for Auburn, that bases clearing double in the second. On the ground, trying to get it past the shifts. Simpson throws to first base. In time for the out.
What a play.
So how about Ohio State's infield here in the 7th inning?
What a play. He's peeled over on Poole side. The shortstop is back up the middle. He's got to go backhand the ball in this right at the shortstop's position. And it's a tandem play. First baseman comes up with a pick. Nice play.
Time now for a 7th inning stretch presented by Amegy Bank. 13-0 Auburn on top as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Auburn fans having a good time here this Friday afternoon. Getting ready for a big game tomorrow against number 8 Oregon State. The Beavers playing the nightcap tonight against Baylor. Auburn on the verge of its 8th straight win and 3rd run rule victory of the season. They had a pair of run rule wins last week against Wright State, 11-0 and 11-1. On top of the Buckeyes here, 13-0. As Auburn has brought a new pitcher into the game, Samuel Dunn delivers 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts for the Tigers. Now he'll hand the ball off to Ryan Hetzler. Oh, and how great was Samuel Dunn today?
Well, if this game ends like it could, I mean, to me, he's got to be a candidate at least for the player of the game. That kind of performance. I mean, it was. No, I'm not going to use the word effortless. There's always effort in there. I just remember watching him walk off the mound. Look at this. You don't think he locked in? This is that last half inning, by the way, where he probably knew he was coming out of the game. Look at all of his buddies trying to get him to crack a smile. And he's like, no, I'm locked in.
The Buckeyes will start the inning with another pinch hitter, Alonzo Paul Jr. First pitch swinging to left field, and Carter tracks it down for the first out of the inning.
Nice swing, nice play. First pitch he sees, he puts a good swing on a ball. Carter does a really good job on this, Fran. As soon as it was hit, I looked immediately at him, and he'd already made a great break on the ball. Good looking swing, pulls his hands in there, gets the barrel flush. Runs through it, catching it like you're supposed to.
Swing and a miss by Eckelman. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. And the 0-2. On the ground to the right side, McMurray picks it up to the bag. And now there's 2 outs.
Hetzler coming in, and it's almost like they just handed off the strike throwing baseball. Whatever magic they've got with it today, they just handed right to Hetzler and said, here, you keep throwing strikes.
And the Buckeyes down to their final out. Ohio State about to start the season 1-6, but again, they've been up against some really good competition so far.
They have. Well, look, you don't like to get beat by any score. They've got some other guys in there today.
Swing and a miss. Stevens down on strikes, and the Auburn Tigers have won 8 straight. They run rule the Buckeyes today 13-0.
There's a lot of great performances out there by Auburn today, all team-wide. I mean, starting on the mound with Dutton, offensively, the number of free bases, the patient hitting, taking their walks, great defense, and then the doubles. I mean, they just kept piling the doubles on, and when they had opportunities to deliver big swings and good swings, they were able to. That is a comprehensive, complete baseball game by the Auburn Tigers today.
And how about the way Auburn has started the year as well? 9-1 start to their season.
Yeah, it's a great start. Obviously, tomorrow's a new challenge, new day, new opportunity as they look at it. And as you mentioned during the game, a highly touted recruiting class. And so far in this young season, it's responded.
And coming up momentarily, we'll be joined by today's player of the game, Cooper McMurray, who had one of the big hits this afternoon for the Tigers, a part of that 8-run second inning for Auburn. And now we go down to the field. We are joined by Tigers first baseman Cooper McMurray. Just talked about it, Cooper, that big 3-run double for you in the second inning. What do you remember about that swing?
It was just a good, my teammates for getting on base. But good opportunity for us to be here. Glad we played well today.
Cooper, tell us about the start you guys are off to now. 8-1 offensively, the numbers are borderline gaudy, it looks like. I mean, when you start talking about this lineup and the balance of it, 1 through 9. Talk to us about your team and the offense of it.
Yeah, I think it's just 9 guys linking up. Our freshmen have been amazing, and we got some good veteran leadership in the lineup. So just being able to put that all together and score runs and help our pitchers out.
You talk about helping out your pitchers. How about the job Samuel Dutton did today, giving you 6 scoreless innings this afternoon?
Yeah, that was amazing. Landing all of his pitches for strikes. It was pretty good to play defense behind. Pace of play was good, so it was great for Sammy.
What does it mean for this program to be playing in this tournament this weekend against such high-quality competition?
Yeah, I think, every kid's dream is to play in a big league ballpark. So, yeah, it's a huge opportunity for us. We're playing 3 great quality ball clubs. Yeah, I think it's fun for all of our guys.
And up next tomorrow, Oregon State. Looking forward to that. Cooper, thanks so much, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, guys. War Eagle.
Again, that our player of the game, Cooper McMurray, driving in 3 of the 8 runs for the Tigers in the second inning as Auburn wins it 13-0.
Impressive. I mean, just impressive. I mean, a lot of different, pieces of it. The defense was impressive. The pitching was impressive. That was impressive. The offense, the left-handed hitting today for them. I was really impressed with Brant. The left-left matchup didn't bother them. The patience, the ability to take walks, get hit by pitches. They've got a plan about how they want to score runs.
That's going to wrap up our coverage here from Arlington in game 1 of our doubleheader. Up next, the Baylor Bears against 9th-ranked Oregon State coming up at 7 o'clock Central here on Flow College. Until then, for Ty Harrington, I'm Brant Freeman saying so long from Globe Life Field here in Arlington, Texas.